pretty day today. A lot of people out. We had 75 new confirmed cases of COVID overnight here in San Francisco. But we're going to talk about that sort of in a weird way. The wind just started up. Okay, let's try it somewhere else. The world's oceans are in the hottest mode they have ever been in since taking record. And that goes way, way back to the old days of ships. It actually started right after they invented the thermometer. I don't have a date. The hottest oceans are the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, with the Gulf of Mexico is 76.3 degrees F or 24.6 degrees C. That is 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, or what we call average. In fact, the entire tropical ocean is above average at this time. Florida yesterday had its hottest heat record of 93 degrees Fahrenheit for this date. By the way, that's 10 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. Okay, here we go. The oceans are playing an important part. They're now absorbing 90% of all the heat-trapping greenhouse gases that we're emitting. 90% of that extra heat is going back into the oceans. You know, the heat just isn't going to go away. It doesn't work like that on this planet. So many organizations, including the UN, is warning that the world's oceans are about 1.49 degrees Fahrenheit above normal, or average. This will spur extra weather extremes such as tornadoes and hurricanes, and thunderstorms will now become extreme. They'll become more and more. The hail will get bigger and bigger because the winds in a thunderstorm are becoming stronger, carrying the hail up and around, gathering layers as it goes around in the atmosphere. Then it comes down as this gigantic ball. If that was to hit somebody, I don't know, do they die from something like that? We're back on COVID-19, and part of the reason the Australian Prime Minister is calling to end all wet markets around the world, and especially in Australia, wet markets. Another one of those polite, nice words meaning the wild bush meat, deer, pig, all the different animals that people around the world go and shoot and kill and sell on the open market. They're pretty much convinced that the COVID-19 came from a wet market. Somebody eating some kind of dead animal, some dead meat. Oh boy, I tell you. But it gets worse. So here in the U.S., the hot spots seem to be the meat packing plants. One of the reasons for that, these meat packing plants are particularly vulnerable. You know why? The inspectors are getting sick that inspect the meat that you're buying. There are so many meat inspectors sick that in the U.S., the entire country is down to 6,500 meat inspectors. So if you work at a meat packing plant, they're saying you're playing Russian roulette. If you're eating the meat that comes from these plants, you're playing Russian roulette. The UN is saying that processing wild meat can spread disease faster than any other source. One of the big diseases that are sweeping through the world right now is chronic wasting disease caused by wild meat infection. It happens, you know. People keep getting more and more diseases because more and more people around the world are now eating meat. Any meat. They just want it. They have been brainwashed into eating this stuff when it's really just poison. And I know most people say, I just don't care. I know they don't care about themselves. Most people have images of themselves that they don't like, so they tend to indulge in things that put them in the most uncomfortable situations, such as being sick all the time. Okay, let's move up this way. It's so pretty today, and the smells. You know, it's kind of interesting how the first 3 days of the shutdown here in San Francisco, things were so quiet. Now, the city's almost back up to its normal, noisy self. Humans are an amazing animal for adaptation. They're adapting here in this city. Construction seems to be fully on, car traffic up quite a bit, and the air is much smoggier again. But it was nice for the 3 days it lasted before humans adapted. And every day it gets a little noisier. So I suspect that soon we will be back at it, spreading and eating meat and not caring whether we spread disease to others or not. But I just put the news out there. I'm not here to try and talk everybody out eating meat. But if you want my opinion, I think you have every reason not to eat meat, but do it slowly. Go on a vegetarian diet for a while, and then after a couple years, maybe switch over to vegan if you can do it. There are a lot of studies that say that veganism can be dangerous if you don't do it right. Make sure you do your homework. Another problem is that each time somebody comes by, you have to hold your breath so you don't get any COVIDs inside of your lungs. And when you're going uphill, that's hard to do. You almost feel like you're going to pass out. Well, I'll be ever so good at holding my breath by the end of this. Alright, I appreciate all your comments, ups and downs, and the new subscribers. And until next time.